You know, just like in that movie Taken, with I forget that man's name, but that movie Taken.
Neil.
Something like that.
Hey, it's something like that.
Yeah, but his daughter was taken. You know, that's what the word rape means. But basically, you're gonna be raped. You're gonna be sexually assaulted. You're gonna be murdered. You're gonna be everything, man. Everything that's negative and evil to in one's eyes. That's what's gonna happen to you. You know, so even the children are gonna pay because you got wicked children out here too, that demons are on them. You know, even Yahweh Shai told them here in the book of I believe it's Luke. Let me bring this out real quick. This is Luke chapter 23, verse 27. It says, "And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him." So they were crying, man. They were of a sorrowful heart, you know, when they were following Yahweh Shai. And this is what he said. "But Yahweh Shai turning unto them said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Because soon after Yahweh Shai was taken up, 70 AD, that was when the Romans besieged Jerusalem, man. Israel. See? And there, a lot of Israelites died in that time, man. You know? Which in the book of Babylonian, or from Timbuktu to Babylon to Timbuktu, I believe, it tells you that approximately 1 million black Jews fled to the west borders of Africa, man. All right? What's going on? It says, so that's what it was talking about, because Vespasian and the son Titus was going to come in and destroy the Romans, man. It says, "For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never gave suck." Because when people lose their children, they say that's something a mother should never have to go through. You know, to lose his son, to lose her son or daughter, because I'm pretty sure it's a fucked up feeling, man. It's a feeling that probably very unbearable, man. You know, so that's what they're going to be saying in this time. Blessed are those who don't have kids, man, that don't have the ability to have children, because great death is going to be upon the earth, man. Versus just it being just you alone, but to see your seed destroyed is a whole different thing. Go ahead.
Read that again.
Go ahead.
"Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary."
That's right. So the ones that have the mark, nothing's gonna touch them, man. You can't mess with them. They're the untouchables. All right, they're the untouchable men. Nothing's gonna be able to mess with them. All right, though you're gonna have martyrs, because you are gonna have brothers that are gonna die for this truth. All right, but they're still untouchable, because Yahweh Shai is the one that sanctioned that to even happen, and they're gonna be in the cherry regardless. But the ones that remain, they're untouchable. They're gonna endure to the very end. Read that verse again.
"Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary."
That's right, and begin at a sanctuary. Where's the sanctuary? Israelites. The Israelites, man. The Hebrew Israelites. That's where his sanctuary is, because he dwells with his people. Though he had the Ark of the Covenant, you know, but that was a representation of Yahweh Shai, but also each brother is as an ark, man, because we're destined to receive the covenants with the promises. All right, we have the law of the testimony written not on tablet and stone, but in our hearts, man. It's being written on our hearts right now, because we're in the making of being kings and rulers to rule right and just in the near future in Yasha'Allah here on the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? So all this is going to begin with Jacob, the time of Jacob's trouble. Go ahead, if there's more on there, I think so.
"Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house."
That's right. So It's going to begin with the ancient men. It happened to the men of old, and it's going to happen in our time. You know, there's no new thing underneath the sun. People say history repeats itself, but this is the history of this world. The heathen ruling over us is going to end through Esau. This is the last This is the last heathen to rule the earth, which is Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man. This is it. After that, Jacob is that which followed after. Is going to be the beginning of the kingdom that's going to be governed and ruled over by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Holding on to that heel coming right after.
That's exactly 2nd Esdras chapter 6.
And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, O Lord Yahweh, wilt thou destroy all the residents of Israel?
Yeah, the residue of Israel. Because there's only a small remnant that's going to be, like I said, I keep saying, there's only going to be a select few, a chosen and elect, a small remnant that's going to be saved, man. That's going to be delivered out of that massacre. All right? Go ahead. But to Ezekiel, it seemed like all of them were dying. But no, they weren't. It's like in the time of Elijah, right? Elijah was being pursued by Ahab and Jezebel. But Elijah felt that he was alone. He was the only one. But Yahweh Shai told him, no, I have, I believe it was 5,000, 7,000 men that had not bowed down to the image of Baal. So there was men that he didn't know about that were already there for him, that were with him. You know, but it's like that's why faith, it's about faith. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to have faith. Because if you don't have faith, you live in that spirit of fear, disbelief, doubt. And to be doubtful is displeasing in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Go ahead on.
In thy powering out of thy fury upon Jerusalem.
Because Yahweh Shai is going to pour out his fury upon Jerusalem. He's the one that's doing all this stuff, Slaki. All right, he's the one that's making the threats. He's the one that's going to implement those threats. You know, because the Lord ain't a man that he shall fall back from his word. His word prospers. He's gonna make sure it happens. All right. Because
me, a brother today when I was watching this video, he was talking about he is like a father. You know, if my kid was jumping around in the living room and I told him, hey, sit down and be quiet, and he didn't do it, and then the next time he does it, I'll tell him. I won't tell you again. You know, and that's exactly what this is. He's telling you and he's telling you and he's telling you until it's he's not going to tell you anymore, and that door shuts. You know.
Exactly. There's no more words that are going to be spoken. It's going to be all action. You know. So don't be surprised whenever you're walking down the street and you bust your ass in front of an open crowd and you're all embarrassed. That's part of that. That's just an example, but it can be even greater than that. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai is allowing these things to happen because you got proud. You were being rebellious. You know. Because he was telling you via the mouth of the prophets, hey, don't walk that way, come this way, don't go that way, get back over here, stop doing that, don't say that no more. But you're like, nah, I'm gonna do whatever I want. It's like a rebellious little kid, because you got kids that are like that. Like they're not saying fuck you, but their actions are saying fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want, I'm gonna eat what I want, I'm gonna stay up as late as I want, I don't have to clean my room if I don't want. And what happens after that? They start getting hollered at, yelled at. And then what happens? And after that, they're gonna get hit with that belt, or they might get hit with the hand. But you have to be careful here in this time. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't discipline your kids now. You know, you'll get your ass in jail just for spanking your own flesh and blood. That's how fucked up it is here in America, man. That's why then they complain about the kids. This generation is all horrible. And, well, damn, let the parents discipline them. Yeah, that's why Esau's a hypocrite, man. You know, this dude got to go because that's part of our heritage. Our heritage is about ass whippings. We whip ass. If we see and there's times where I see other people's kids, I'm like, man, this kid's fucking going off the chain. Like, let me deal with him just for a few seconds, and I'll put his ass straight. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of rulership mentality. That's about developing structure. People say, "Oh, you're just a mean person." No, there's order, man. And you see the parents, they don't even know how to control their own kid. That's ridiculous in my mind. That kid is ruling you. Hey, there's something that has to be reevaluated about this society. But we're the men of the Lord are the only ones that are doing that, man. Starting with Elder Tahar all the way down to Akim. Via the scriptures, the Holy Spirit, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, the spirit of testimony. This testimony of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of prophecy, is the only one that's doing it. Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceedingly great.
That's right. You Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, man. Your wickedness that you committed is exceedingly great. All right? It's evil. It's wicked. You know? A bunch of filthy animals, brute beasts. All right? And Jerusalem is a representation of the northern kingdom, which is starting with Ephraim, the head tribe, all the way down to Issachar. All right? Then the southern kingdom, which it mentioned Judah. Judah speaks for Benjamin and Levi. Go ahead.
And the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, Yahweh hath forsaken the earth, and Yahweh seeth not.
Because they're dying, man. You know, but that's why it would behoove you to take heed of the words that are being spoken to you. Just like Ezekiel went out to speak to the people, Jeremiah went to go speak to his people, Isaiah spoke to his people, Nahum, Haggai, etc. But the people despise it, they turn. So, hey, it's too late. Noah prophesied to his people, telling, hey man, y'all need to get right. Because the Lord's going to send a great flood. And they laughed at him until the door was shut. And you can only imagine what the people were doing. They're running to that big ark, that ship. They're running to it, banging on, trying to climb on it. Pissed off, throwing rocks at it because they couldn't get in. Banging on it, you know, Noah and them, they were probably afraid too, you know, but they knew that something was going on out there. Because Noah, according to the scripture, Noah didn't get to shut the door. The Most High shut it for him. You see? So you can only imagine how those people were really reacting, man. That's a scary thing. But that's why, you know, I had the scripture lined up. 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. That's why we speak the things that we speak. Because that's what's going to pull you to coming into the fold. You know, where you're going to be able to rest. You're going to be, in that rest, it's talking about you're going to have a peace of mind, a sense of hope. That you have the possibility of being saved, man. And being preserved from the sad perils to come. Because the people out here that don't take heed to this, that ain't listening, that are rejecting it, despising it, they're going to be as those people that Ezekiel's talking about. That the land is good. Their blood, they're going to be part of the land. They're not going to be walking on their 2 feet no more. They're going to be actually part of that land. Stomped into the dirt, the mire, the earth, the dirt, the mud.
That's where the 2/3 come in. When we're speaking these words, they don't want to hear it. Speak soothing things unto me, you know. That's what they want. Speak of peace. Speak of good things. You know, say that and I'll listen.
Smooth things.
Smooth things. And that's what I hear a lot of people commenting on the videos. Like, man, you guys come out like we're too raw. You know, we're saying things. We're saying these things and they don't want to listen to it. And if you guys approach brothers a certain way, then they'll listen to you. But we're not about that. We're not about getting everybody to join in, you know.
Exactly.
It's about the elect.
Yep. And the elect are going to come in regardless, however the brother's speaking. It's not going to be about how the brother's projecting the message. It's about how he's receiving the message, how he hears the words coming alive in his own spirit. You see? Because that's how every brother, from what I know, it wasn't about the man. It was about the words that were being spoken unto them. You understand? But those are like females. Those 2/3 are like females. A dude can't even say bitch and shit like that or cuss because she gets all, reacts sensitive to it. You know, But that's how these dudes are. These 2/3, these scoffers and mockers. You know, they're like women. You know. Go ahead.
And as for me also, mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity.
That's right. So, hey, the prophets of old, they would kill motherfuckers, man. Elijah slew 400 false prophets of Baal after he summoned them for a contest to see whose God was real, their God Baal or my God Yahweh. So that he was like, hey, you build an altar, I'll build an altar, we'll set up a sacrifice and call upon your God to send fire, whose God will wake up and send fire to burn his offering. And the 400 prophets of Baal, they were unable to do it. So Elijah started mocking them, saying maybe your God is on a vacation, or you know, he's asleep, you know. And then they started cutting themselves, you know. And then Elijah was like, man, get out the way, I'm gonna show you who the true power is. So he put water 12 times, I believe, around the altar, and then he prayed unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and a consuming fire came in and sucked up everything, the water, the offering, and everything up into the heavens. And soon after that, he killed all 400 of them. And then what happened? Jezebel, that bitch, that wicked ass woman, wanted to kill Elijah, and was seeking after his life because of what he did, and because she knew what he was about, man, who was with him. Because a lot of women have that spirit of Jezebel on them, man. They hate the men of the Lord, you know. And for me, I had to deal with and I still have to deal with her, man. The most wicked woman I've ever known in my life. 36 years old, and I ain't never known a woman this wicked, you know. And she hates the shit out of me, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of women have that same spirit, man, you know. But that's what happened. So the prophets of old, they would kill people, they would put them to death, but it was a righteous judgment, you know. And there was another, and I like this one because it shows the fear in people when they know that man ain't to be messed with. They're like, damn, man, here comes so and so. Because the prophet Samuel, when he was summoned by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to go anoint David in Bethlehem, the men that were there, they saw him coming, and they got scared, and they asked him, dost thou come in peace? You know what I'm saying? They're like, do you come in peace? You know what I'm saying? Because the prophets of old were known not because of their own action, because of the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai putting into action through them. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very serious thing, man.
But I will recompense their way upon their head, and behold, the man clothed with linen, which have which hath had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded.
So he wrote the account. He saw the account. He wrote it. You know, he was like a reporter in a way. You know, I think that's it on there. Go to 1 Peter 4. 1 Peter 4 and 17. 1 Peter 4 and 17. And I'm going to read this while the brother brings out that scripture. This is in the book of Luke 19 and 27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So this is in the New Testament. And Yahweh Shai said those words. Bring them hither and slay them before me, those that are my enemies. So who's going to slay them before him? The men of the Lord, the men that are predestined from the foundations of the earth to take part in that. All right. 1 Peter. 1 Peter 4 17. Yep.
First Peter chapter 4, verse 17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
See? So the time of judgment has come, that it must begin at the house of God. Who's the house of God? The Israelites. Be 2/3. All right? The time of Jacob's trouble is at hand, man. All right? That's where it's going to begin, and it's already beginning. It's been beginning. And it's just going to get worse and worse. It's going to increase. Like we read in Ezra 15, the wickedness has exceedingly been, increased, So there's going to be a lot of bloodshed out here, man. There's going to be a lot of death. The unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Go ahead.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not to the gospel of God?
Obey not the gospel of God, Yahweh. Because we all had to go through different captivities, in different ages, under these nations. You read Hebrews 11 and you'll find out that all of us died in prior lives. Now we're being brought in the reincarnation. Each brother, Daniel died, we all died. Peter died, for this truth,
So he died and it said he was going to prophesy again.
Yeah.
People don't want to believe that he's coming back. But how did he continue prophesying if he was dead? Exactly.
Which he's here today. Who is he? We don't know, but he's here, and he's preaching the way you see right now. So,
for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
That's right.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
How is it going to be for those that obey not the gospel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai? It's going to be horribly and speedily death, a speedily death. A horrific death, man. That's all. Those are the only words we can really use, man. Death by pain, they shall know it, because they loathed his law, they hated the law, loathed. All right, they rejected. They did, when the door of repentance was opened unto them, they despised it. So they're going to know it, death by pain. That's the end result of those wicked individuals. Go ahead.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved. So we're barely going to make it, man. We're barely going to make it out of here, because, as I quoted earlier before the brother got here, within all our righteousness, we're still as filthy rags. We all deserve death. But Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai has a covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And there's an elect within the elect that are destined to escape this coming destruction. That are going to be preserved from the second death, which is by fire, the ICBM missiles. All right. So it says, the righteous shall scarcely be saved, man. We're barely going to make it.
If any time longer, we wouldn't.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it says in Revelation.
And in Matthew 24, it also says that the Lord has shortened the days for the elect's sake, lest man destroy himself. You see? So we need Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to come back now. We have to have that spirit of now. We have to have the spirit of now, make a video now, going out to the highways and the byways now, today, not tomorrow. Make no tarry to turn to the Lord and put off not from day to day. See?
Added into that. When I was going to school, I remember taking this history class, and I forgot the man's name, but he went out and started slaying the Indians to further the land here in the United States. And when he died, he did it for supposedly his country. You know how he saw things, and through the sword, killing all these Indians, these natives. And at the end, when he died, people were asking, do you think this man went to heaven? And the way that Esau thinks is, if he wanted to go to heaven, he went straight to heaven, because this man was so powerful with the sword and with his armies. But that's the way that Esau thinks. We're going to be saved if we want to be saved. And that's the way that people are nowadays.
Yeah, and it's not that way, because the scriptures clearly tell you that the only way you're going to be saved and delivered is by your faith in your works. You got to have faith, and then not only that, you have to have certain a degree and a measure of knowledge. Not all knowledge is going to save you, especially when it comes to your Creator. You know, yeah, us brothers in the knowing, we know that when you die, whether you're on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, your body goes back to the earth, your spirit goes back to the Father. Everybody goes back to the heaven, the spiritual realm. All right, the heaven that we're talking about, that we want to be at, is in the kingdom. Is when we don't see death. This death, the second death that's coming by fire, the judgment that's comes soon, is going to be nothing can be compared to it. No other nation has gone through what's coming in our time, man. You know what I'm saying? So we know that when you die, the spirit goes back to the Father. He gets his judgment and it comes down and it plays out the judgment here. The Lord tells you, okay, whether you're good or bad, if you're bad, he'll still bring you down, but you're going to play out your judgment in here. Because only the spirit can only feel pain is through the flesh. The spirit is a burning fire. It's energy. The Bible tells you that. All right? So the only way that energy, that spirit is going to feel that pain is being in this body. The chains of darkness. The chains of dark, the death. All right? But yeah, I think, where were you at?
18. And the righteous scarcely be saved.
Go ahead and read that last one.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of God commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto the faithful Creator.
That's right. So you have to read it again, Slocky. I'm sorry, read it slow.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of God.
Right. Let them that suffer according to the will of God. Right? Because according to the will of God, you have to suffer. You have to go through affliction, persecutions, trials, tests to build you up, to purge out certain iniquities, certain impurities. Okay? Because it says that the righteous shall scarcely be saved. But so there's a process before you're saved. And the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai must begin at his house. So it's telling you, read it again.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of God,
right,
commit the keeping of their souls to him.
Commit the keeping of their souls to him. The way you commit the keeping of your souls to him is by enduring and being subjected unto the Father of lights, which is Yahweh Shema Shai. But taking heed to the words of the sure word of prophecy. All right? Having the fear of the Most High on you. The beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord. All right? That's what's going to scarcely get you saved, man. Through your works, through your faith, through having the names, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You have to have the Father and the Son's name, man, written on your forehead. It's not just the Son's name. It's not just the Father's name. It's both their names. All right? Go ahead.
Commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing.
In well-doing. So what is that well-doing? Obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. Doing exactly what is commanded of you. Even if a man here on the earth sends out a decree and tells you to make 3 videos. To be in a 3-day video spirit, every day. If it's just 2, you get 2. But you have to have the mindset that I'm going to put three videos out that day. That's what the message was the Spirit was conveying. It's not necessarily 3. It's not 4, not 5, it's not 1. You gotta what's the word? Exert? Is that a word? Where you go from one level to another level, like in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Excel. You have to excel from level to level. You know what I'm saying? From 1 to 10, whatever the case may be. That's why the Lord said, seek out the Lord 10 times more. You got to seek him out 10 times harder, 10 times more. Not just 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You got to continuously be doing that work, man. All right? So it says in well-doing, man, commit thy soul unto the Creator. Go ahead.
As unto a faithful Creator.
As unto a faithful Creator, because Yahweh Shai is faithful. His words are faithful and true, as I brought out earlier. 2nd Ezra 16. In Romans 3, where it says, what if some do not believe? Shall they make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Let every man be a liar, but the word of God true. You see? So he is a faithful creator, and he's not a man that he should lie. So he's going to reward you. He's going to preserve you, and you're scarcely going to be saved, man. I mean that you're lucky. You're not lucky, but you're blessed to be saved, man. You're predestined from the foundation of the earth. Everybody else is going to be dying like and falling, dropping like dead, like flies, birds, whatever you want to say. Go from there back to Second Ezra. Second Ezra. Go to chapter 9. Pages start flying everywhere.
What was it?
Chapter 9. Should be 4 once. City confusion. Bunch of damn noise, man. Go ahead.
Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
That's right. So it's a commandment that we got to measure the time diligently in itself, meaning that we have to be circumspect, observing, vigilant, watching what's going on, being occupied in the prophecies, watching the news, what's going on with the different nations. All right, seeing the other brothers waking up in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is a sign in itself that the end is coming, because the Lord said when the elect are sealed, then the end shall come. All right, when this truth is published to the four corners of the earth, then the end shall come. So that's a sign. Go ahead.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand.
Then you're going to understand. You're going to see, like, damn, man, I read that before somewhere in the Bible. That's similar. When you see something happen in the world, and it's going to cause you to come to the Bible. You're going to be researching on the internet, and you're going to come across a brother with the garment coming in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, being an example, telling you it is possible to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And you're going to be, Lord willing, you're going to be grafted in, and you're going to be doing the same thing in return, because you understand, go ahead.
Start that one.